Greetings, Goddess Body Mind Spirit community. This is your Goddess Guru, Tyra Omilade, here to share a word of inspiration with you on your path to self-realization and self-mastery. Today is August 24th. and just happy to be here with you all and just observing myself to see that I actually can get this done. If I keep my life in balance and, just staying focused on making videos and sharing wisdom, which is important to me, I will get it done. So I'm so happy to be here with you. I hope that you are having an awesome and amazing day. I wanted to get on today and continue to talk a little bit more about the wisdom for 2018, which was Tahuti negative. First there was dark deceased, then there's Tahuti negative. And with the Tahuti negative, I decided or just sort of meditated, and it came to me that the goddess of 2018 for us to work with is the goddess Maat. And so I wanted to talk about Maat a little bit more. Maat and Tahuti are, reflections of the same omniscience, wisdom of the universe. Ma'at, of course, is feminine. Tahuti is masculine. And so they, to a certain degree, bring, they're different parts of this metaphorine that we learned through this Egyptian or Kemetic tradition. And so, of course, we're talking about the wisdom. We're talking about the omniscience. So this is something that all of us want to tap into more this year. And so when we talk about the energy of Ma'at, and this I see has been revolutionary for me in understanding what is this energy with Ma'at and how do we use this energy of Ma'at in our lives to effect positive change, to continue the expansion, because Ma'at and Tahuti say expand. And this is the energy of mastery. So how do we get to this level of mastery? How do we begin to grow and master our lives and ourselves? Well, Ma'at is the law. And so when we understand what the laws of the universe are, and we live according to these laws of the universe, basically what we're doing is we have a science for life. We have a science for living. The question is, what are the divine laws of the universe? Well, I decided to pull up. I took a course with Baba Shangodari of the Gan Philosophy or Gan Institute, something like that, GAN. I took his first level numerology course, and he has included in those some of the laws of the universe. Because the one that I know the most, of course, is the law of attraction, which has been revolutionary for a lot of us, understanding ourselves. See, this is the thing about this science of life. It requires that you expand your understanding of who and what you are. It requires that you don't accept that you are flesh and blood, but that you are that and more. Okay. And so the law of attraction, of course, it operates on the premise that we're understanding that we're vibrational energies, we're vibrational beings, and wherever our vibration is set, that is what we are going to manifest. And so, it just kind of goes back to what we talked about yesterday, how so much is sold to us to keep us in a particular place, especially of fear, that it's very difficult for us to at times move beyond. But that's why we have our spiritual practices, and that's why we, come together in community and work with one another so that we can get free and we can begin to understand ourselves beyond. But by the same token, doing our spiritual studies helps to open our minds. So sometimes it will be, we just have to sit down and learn, what are these laws? And then we begin to apply them. The one thing I want to make sure I don't forget to say, and I just saw that. Let me make sure My Wi-Fi's on. Okay, so it said I went on live, so I'm back. Okay, so one of the things I want to make sure that I say, ooh, it's so hard. Ever since I got dreadlocks, I cannot let pressure of any sort be on my head. I was trying to have a different look for today, but forget the different look if it's giving me a headache. Is that when we obey the laws of the universe, that is what confers protection. So we don't have to walk in fear. We don't have to worry. We don't have to doubt. We don't have to fight and struggle to live life in general if living according to the laws of the universe. So let me just sort of read some of these, because for me, first of all, I will read them and you write them down, take notes. I know me. I don't know if I'm going to put these. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to read it to you because I want you all to go and do your own independent investigation for truth. This is very important as truth seekers. That's what we are, truth seekers. So Shangodari gave the 7 cosmic laws. The first is the law of mentalism. And this says all is mind and the universe is mental. And that's a biggie. You know, I'm not going to go deep into these too much. Maybe we'll do them video by video, but it would take me too long if I just go into all of them. But for me, this is revolutionary. All is mind and the universe is mental, because it speaks to us always being connected, tapped in, tuned in to the great one divine consciousness. And so the question is, how do we do that? How do we maintain it? In realization, self-realization and enlightenment is being able to walk in that knowing moment by moment. That's how I see all is mind and the universe is mental. So there is the law of mentalism that I encourage you to study. Because like I said, this year is the law of Maat. We're wanting to understand what are the laws of the universe. And if we can begin to apply these laws of the universe, okay? The law of correspondence, as it is above, so it is below. As it is below, so it is above. And again, this is about how it speaks to the oneness and how, you know, we think about, it's just the ability to tap into the non-physical realm. These birds are going crazy, and they are really, I don't know what's going on with the birds. They just really messed with my mind right then. Anyway, the ability to, and I'm not saying I'm a pro on all of this, but I just want to say a little bit, you know, the as above, so it is below. It's about the manifesting of this energy matrix. And maybe we'll have Baba Shangodari come on and talk about this. And I often think to myself in terms of the planets. I'll just use an example that I think of. The planets reflect what is going on. A lot of times I see reflected in my life what astrology is speaking to. And then sometimes it's the opposite way. Like yesterday, I was so frustrated and sort of like finding myself in a combative state on Facebook. And typically I don't do that. And then I remembered, wait a minute, you know, we have a very heavy planetary mix going on here. Pluto conjunct Mars, or Mars conjunct Pluto, which leads to this energy, this intensity, and it could lead to, you know, wanting to fight or argue or whatever. But instead we need to channel this energy in a different way. And so it's like all one, you know, all one. The thing that I love is we get to choose how we're going to manifest this energy. So though what is above manifests below, it's still unique unto each one of us. The law of vibration. Nothing is stationary. You can study any, what is this? Maybe biology, chemistry. Nothing is stationary. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. Nothing is at rest. So the law of vibration is another cosmic law that I encourage you to study and know. The law of polarity. Now, this is one I think I spoke about. I don't know if it was last week or the week before. Everything is dual. Everything has two poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. We talked about this from the Mayan Oracle. Opposites are the same in nature, but in different degrees, the extremes meet. All truth is semi truth, all paradoxes can be reconciled. Okay, so just hit replay if you need to hear that again. But the main thing that I remember just really taking from when we talked about that mind oracle piece is that we really need to understand that there's no need in fighting with the opposite pole, because guess what, it's all one and the same. What we need to do is to maybe perhaps make peace with it, and the more we walk in that oneness, perhaps the peace will just be a natural thing. It won't just be an acceptance. It will be literally both poles are accepting it. Another thing I think about is within our own selves. I can't remember who was talking about this, but everybody's got a dark side and everybody's got light. And so we fight with the dark side. We seek to keep it hidden. Some people have embraced their dark side more than their light, whatever, whichever extreme we are. But the two poles of ourselves, if we can understand that they are one and the same, that there's no judgment. And this is one of the concepts that we think about when we think about Ma'at. Ma'at doesn't really judge. Ma'at does judge, but it's from a place of wisdom. It's more of like judging to make a decision about what to do or how to look at this thing. It's not like you are bad, you are wrong. And so, that's something that I think we all really need to get. We are the polarity. There's the great God, great mother. And then there's little bitty me. No, it's one and the same. Okay. We're the little mouse riding it's the, don't worry about it. I was going to talk about Ganesha, but it's really the elephant riding the mouse. That's really what we are. We're an elephant riding the mouse. This is the mouse. Okay. It's like polarity, but it's one in the same. The more we can make peace with all of this, the better. The law of rhythm. I don't have my glasses on, y'all. Everything flows out and in. Everything rises and falls. Yes, the rhythms. This is the energy of Sekert. We can also think about the energy of Saturn because it speaks to cycles. Okay. And we have to understand what cycle are we in. The swing of the pendulum is manifested in everything. And so though it seems like we're having a horrible time, times will get better. If we are operating according to the laws of the universe and we remember the law of rhythm, then we know, though I may be in a rough spot, things will get better. It's just how things work. And though I may be doing great now, that doesn't mean I sleep on doing my spiritual work, because things can get worse. And I want to be prepared for when I get in that spot where it's a little bit, pinched and contracted and maybe not feeling too good. I'm feeling down. Life doesn't feel like it's going my way, but I am sustained because during my good times, I was doing the work that was preparing me for if and when a rough time comes. I just keep saying the astrologers have taught me there is beauty in the square aspect. We have the squares. Yeah, they're not always fun, but guess what? We can come out better if we allow ourselves to do that. This is one that you probably know from physics class, the law of causation. Every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to the law. Chance is but a name given to a law not recognized. That's interesting. And I know I read this before, but I didn't catch that. Chance is but a name given to a law not yet recognized. So we don't know all the laws. Okay. There are many planes of causation, but none escape this law. So we have many planes of causation. We're in the physical plane. There's a causal plane, the astral plane. It's different levels. And this is why, if we just try to address, now I believe in addressing the body. We must take care of the body spiritually. For spiritual reasons, we must take care of the body because our body will distract us, and we can, get sidetracked from our destiny. So this is not negating the necessity to make sure that we take care of our body temple. But what I will say is we cannot just address everything that manifests perhaps in our body from the place of, well, I need to, I have an iron deficiency, or I need to change this food or whatever. Because how many of us know people who ate very well and they ended up with a sickness anyway? Or, you talk to them and you're like, this person is devoid of love or whatever, taking care of the body is not going to guarantee anything. But if we understand that there's different levels of causation, and if we can identify, and this is why the spiritual practice is so important, if we can identify at what level is this thing manifesting. Yesterday we talked about family curses. And, in another way we described it was an era. Dysfunctional ways of being that are handed down generation after generation after generation. If we can figure out the level of causation of that era, perhaps we are able to go to that level, do the work, effect the change that needs to be effected so that we can begin to, shift that energy so that it's at a positive polarity instead of a negative polarity manifesting in our lives. I have a friend. She is this energy worker. It's not Reiki, it's something else. But this is the kind of work that she does. Looking at the person as an energetic being, and even going back, not just in this lifetime, but other lifetimes to affect what happened back then. And a lot of us know that this is possible. There are people that do this kind of work. And so you would just need to find that practitioner who could help you. But this is like revolutionary. The law of causation. You're not perhaps having problems just because you're a failure. Maybe something happened in 4-5 lifetimes ago that you've come back here in this lifetime to take care of. Law of causation. On which level was this thing caused? And then there's the law of gender. We've talked about this too. Gender is in everything. Everything has masculine and feminine principles. And the gender is manifested on all planes. I was just talking to my younger son this morning, and I was like, well, I have two Orisha that have spoken largely in my life. One is feminine, one is masculine, because he had a dream that I smoked cigarettes, or that I smoke. I don't smoke. I cannot do that. When I first started getting into Ifa, I got a reading, and they were like, oh, you want to know who rules your head? And they said it was Obatala no Shun. And so they were like, hey, Obatala, you have to watch what you eat. You can't drink. I didn't even need a reading to know that. I stopped drinking when I was in my 20s because it would wreck me. Got me in a lot of trouble too one time. And smoking is not an option. I have midheaven in on my astrological chart in Virgo. I've always had an inclination for healthy living. Even before everybody else was out here doing these diets, me and my friend who lived across the street, we were like 10 years old. We were dieting and exercising back in the 80s. All right. That was 1980, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, I'm not going to smoke. But the more I thought about it, I was like, I have been feeling like I need to work with Shango more. Like Shango's energy is speaking in my head more and more. So, understanding I have this feminine and masculine. I'm not just a feminine being because I was born in this feminine body. I have both. And one of the things that I've learned through my studies is you bring up the energy that you need in that moment. So when I need more of a feminine way, I know how to, well, that's easy for me. But when I need more of a masculine way, I can bring that up too. And some of us have to sort of understand, what does that look like for our own unique selves, because the masculine in me is going to look different perhaps from a masculine in my husband, and vice versa. The feminine in him, as he brings up his feminine ways, not going to look like me, but it will be his way of being feminine. So this is something I wanted to touch on as we work with this energy of Tahuti. Follow the wisdom. Well, what does that mean? Well, I just gave you some. Understanding the laws of the universe. And what does this do for us? Because the concept for this year is expansion. We need to be opening more to who and what we are. We need to be opening more to our destiny. We need to be expanding ourselves beyond what we understand ourselves to be. We need to be opening ourselves up. And this is something else that I wanted to share this morning that I was listening with Dr. Michael Beck with. The importance of us. Dang, I lost my thought. What was I going to say about him? I have a little hot flash hitting me. Anyway, I was listening to him talk this morning, and he talked about the importance of us expanding. And the thing that I wanted to say about gift is, I told y'all I had that dream where I died and I was screaming out for my gifts, basically, as I died. This was last year. And, he was saying basically that. I was like, did I listen to him before I dreamt that? Because it was like almost verbatim where I've come. We don't want to die with our gifts. He described it like when you die and they're doing that life review, unused gifts zipping by. You're looking like, oh my God, I didn't do that. And that has been my theme for the last year. So yeah, we really need to use our gifts. And the other thing that he said that was really gave me even more of a sense of urgency is our gifts don't belong to us. Our gifts absolutely do not belong to us. They belong to the world. And so as we do our spiritual practices, first of all, this is another thing that he said, going back to the expansion thing, it's so important for us to do our spiritual work so that we can expand to actually receive that which we say we want. We don't do our spiritual work. So then when that thing comes, we're not even ready to receive it. We're not vibrationally ready. Going back to the law of vibration, we're not vibrationally ready to receive it. It is ours, but we can't receive it. So do the spiritual work that will cause you to expand. And then, of course, the more you expand, the more comfortable you are with your gift, whatever that gift is. Some of us have a gift. Like I have a cousin who's a doctor. He is an oncologist. Well, that's like super acceptable in this culture. Be a doctor. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, that's great. Well, when you say I want to be an artist, oh, you'll never make money being an artist. Well, that's a lie from the pit of hell. That's another thing I like what Dr. Beckwith said today. You do your spiritual work and you manifest your gift. You live on purpose and in alignment. That sharing will, in fact, put you in a place to be able to be provided for. I look at all these artists because I really do like people who are artsy. And I heard it, baby. Thank you. I like people who are artsy. And I see people making bankroll and all they're doing is expressing their art in their own way. It's fascinating to me. So that's what I wanted to say about gift, Maat, expansion, and these, what he gave us, the seven cosmic laws, okay? And this is Baba Shangadari's teaching. So if you know other laws or whatever, you can chime in and let me know. Okay. What else did I put on them? Oh, I did a reading for you all. If y'all heard me burp, I'm so sorry. I hate the sound of burps for some reason right now. And I'm trying to suppress mine, but I drank a green shake before I got on. Naughty me. So let me give you a little bit of wisdom. I'll make sure this thing doesn't fall off. Okay, so I went to my Pathways Oracle for us, and I got the Connections card. Let me see if it... And Basically, what connections is about, this is what we want to think about right now. Making that connection to our own inner self. You know, it goes back to connecting with the spirit of the divine within you. And so this is an important time for us right now to be making connections with our own inner divinity. The other thing that I'm finding for my own self is making connection with my guides. I'm beginning to feel myself just get more and more in isolation and just feel like all I want to do is talk to my guides, to my ancestors, to my Ori, to my Orisha, to the mothers, just my guides in general, just the wisdom matrix, just really communing with the non-physical friends. And I made a video. I said I need to repost that video. And it was about connecting with our non-physical guides. And so these are the things I feel that help us to feel that support. A lot of us are looking for these connections. We want people to take care of us. We want people to love us. We want to feel connected. We feel empty. But it's not until we have that connection in this inner world that we're going to feel the truth of who and what we are, which is wholeness. So the more you feel whole and complete, the more you can use that as a guide of feeling connected, but it's not an outside game. It's an inside game. So, hello, peace and blessing, Empress Aset. Thank you. So connections is what we are going for at this time. So as you go about your day, your days, your week, one of the things I would encourage you to do is to scan yourself to see how connected are you feeling, how whole and complete are you feeling. And then where you feel a void, this is that time to perhaps look at the trees, look in nature, take some deep breaths, go take a yoga class that really and truly makes you feel good. Because I know it's not always, we can't always hear like get ashram type yoga, spiritual type yoga. But yoga, nonetheless, go to a class where this yoga instructor really and truly helps you to feel that yoga, that unity. Take a luxurious bath, turn on the essential oils, pick up some wisdom text and read it, or listen to, like, I love Michael Beckwith, listen to some spiritual teacher, mystic, watch a spiritual movie. Begin to do things that will shore you up and help you to feel, when you feel tapped in and tuned in, that's what you're looking for. You want to begin to do those things. You want to avoid the more we feel the void, the less we want to do the things that are more of like pacifiers, that are sort of like maybe indulging in an addiction or hanging out with people just for the sake of hanging out with people, even though these people are not really that good for you. We want to avoid doing things like that when we feel the void. We don't want to fill it, F-I-L-L, with things that are, it's like junk food, not filling. It might taste good in the moment, but it doesn't really fill you up. As a matter of fact, you'll be hungry real soon after eating junk food. That's my experience with junk food. The more nutritious food I eat, the more I realize I don't really need to eat that much. I'm just full. I'm not thinking about food. I don't want anything to eat. Those are the kinds of things we need to be doing. But guess what our ego will do? Our ego will say, don't do that. Don't do that. Because then you're going to feel full and you're going to try to get rid of me. I won't be in control. And so we do have to combat our ego, because our ego will be doing everything it can to keep us from, really and truly doing what we know we need to do to feel that connection. Okay. So I will actually leave it at that, because I have to go pick up my son, which means that I must log back on today or tomorrow to talk about chaos and drama. Let's just say this. I told y'all earlier, Pluto is conjunct Mars. Stay away from the chaos and from the drama. I am Tyra Omilade, your goddess guru, hoping that this wisdom sharing has assisted you. I ask that you please use anything in this that can help you in your life. Like the video, share the video, and also you can go to my website at goddessbodymindspirit.com. And if you need a reading, just go to my spiritual readings page. I would love to divine for you on your behalf. I wish you the blessings, the choices, the greatest, the most abundant blessings of the goddess be upon you. You are absolutely welcome. Thank you all. Love you all. Peace.